Welcome to What the Fuck Did I Just Read? The Tech Sales and Marketing Edition. This is going to be a blast.
This isn't just a podcast to have a conversation. This is a podcast to affect change.
It's kind of our outlet for therapy, to just let it rip. All right. Welcome to another episode of What the Fuck Did I Just Read? Tech Sales and Marketing Edition. It is a beautiful, what is it, Monday? No, it's Wednesday. Wednesday morning.
Wednesday.
We used to do Mondays.
Yeah.
Totally.
I'm still off work. I took, says the guy, I just cleaning up, as I told Danny as I was getting ready beforehand, one managed to spill one's cup of tea on one's computer, but it looks like I also managed to spill it on my damn chair as well. So I'm clearing that up. No, I'm off. It's actually nice. It's Wednesday. This is my last day off. Although I'm going to go in the office today. Mostly because I found I hit the Italian bakery and picked up some biscuits, cookies, whatever you want to call the bloody things.
Oh,
I'm going to take them in the office. I'm going to go listen to music, and I'm going to
Yes.
take the bike that's now at the office out for a ride and go look at apartments and stuff.
love it. Love it. Yeah, I took some time off as well. Hoping everybody had a wonderful long weekend. I think it's the last time I'm going to have a long weekend because I am just bombarded with work. Like, oh my God, I can't even.
That's hopefully a good thing, though. I mean, because you're building your own thing, so hopefully that's a good thing.
Yeah, I can't complain about it. It was good. Yeah, apart from being sick.
Yeah, that's not such a good thing.
2 years in a row, I was sick on my birthday. If you listen on last year's episode on my birthday, you could hear me kind of nasally like this
No.
recording.
Why do I not have your birthday on my bloody calendar? I'm sorry.
Every day is my birthday. We celebrate every day.
I don't have it on the sodding calendar.
Yeah, it was 2 days ago. So
All
the
right.
big 3-5. I'm pretty excited. Half of 70. Yes. All right.
I don't want to hear it. I'm closer to 70 than you are. We'll just leave it at that, shall we?
Okay, so just a quick recap for those of you who are new on the call, and even for those of you who are VIP veterans on the call. As usual, Chris and I are going to dig into the spam inbox today, break down an email, bring it back up, and then bring on any folks who want to validate anything on the call, get some feedback from Chris and myself, and then go on our way to our beautiful day. If you have any questions, you can drop them here inside the chat or directly message me. We'll bring you on the show. But with that, Chris, shall we kick it off and talk about life before we?
Yeah, a little bit. We'll talk about a little bit of life stuff. I was actually just going through the junk mailbox, seeing how we can protect myself and protect again and all sorts of bloody things. It's life has been interesting. Actually, life will leave life aside for the minute. We'll just leave it at that. Long story short, there will be a different background in the mid future. Changes are occurring, changes are happening, and it is what it is. But health-wise, not bad. I got a gold star from the hospital yesterday. Literally, they told me they did a print off for me of what's been going on, so that they have access to what's happening on my body because of this thing on a near real-time basis. So they're plugged into the phone's Libre 3 thing as well for a variety of reasons. But they did like the last 3 months, and then they did the last month, and then they focused on like the last couple of weeks and how everything's doing, and it's actually kind of cool. It's nice to see that kidney function is starting to return, so it's like yay on that one. Body is self-regulating-ish. Well, let's just put it this way: it's a hell of a lot better than it was. At night time, when the glucose does this, the body's kicking it back up again, all that kind of good stuff. When I go for a bike ride now, which I'm now doing, when I go for a bike ride and the glucose is doing this, the body's kicking it back up. So it's now. So we're talking about body and food and diets and all this kind of good stuff. And they were actually, it was really freaking nice. They were, They like, you need to take this, literally put gold stars on it and go put it on the
Yeah.
fridge. So
Yeah.
it's actually really my. I keep wanting to call it my ABV, my APV. It's like a beer term. Whatever the hell the percentages of like crap that's in the body that shouldn't be in the body, or whatever the hell it should be that needs to be like 5 or 6 something.
Yeah.
Mine is now coming from the high teens down into single digits. So it's actually really nice to see. So yay.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
Like I say, we always
Pancreas,
drink to health. Only
yeah,
to health.
pancreas is
Everything
still
else
kind
is
of
the cherry on top.
screwed up, but we'll get there.
Good. And what's in the cup today? Coffee, tea? Tea.
Cup of tea.
Yeah,
Cup of
well,
tea. That was
cheers,
a nice thing
everybody.
as well. It was a good conversation because I was talking with them, and this is, this is true in life as well. It was one of those when I was first in hospital, and it was made very clear to me, you drink a can of Coke, it is more lethal to you than a bullet at the moment. And I'm like, I understand that metaphor pretty badly.
Yeah.
And it was very much a case of they weren't banning me from things, but I also didn't have a good conversation with anybody to know what was allowed, not allowed, what was okay, not
Mm,
okay. And the dietitian person I talked to as well yesterday, she was absolutely freaking amazing. She's like, look, it's like anything in life, moderation.
yeah.
Like, if you want to have some sugar in your tea, have some sugar in your tea, but realize that there's consequences of doing that, but don't have a lot of sugar. Don't go back to your NATO standard, which is, white with 2 sugars. Have half a sugar or 3/4 of a teaspoon of sugar, but just realize that if you're doing that, there's some carbs. And it was really, really nice. Same thing with
Mm,
like potatoes and rice and stuff, which I've been mostly avoiding.
hmm
And she's like, no, you can have some. She's like, back to that moderation.
Right.
It was a good reminder of that lesson in life from moderation, which feeds into like the security side of the world and life in general that we have to deal with. So yeah, it was it's good. I feel a bit more human, let's put it that
Good.
way. It's
Good.
nice.
Yeah. I'm so happy. I mean,
Mm,
bravo.
me too.
Bravo.
Yeah, at least for that reason, I'll be still kicking. I should still be kicking around for a while, which is kind of nice.
Good. I'm really stoked about that. I mean, we couldn't have you here on WTF talking about the health of your inbox without you,
Without the health of the human, yeah,
without the health of
exactly.
the
It goes with
human.
it. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Shall we talk about the health or lack thereof of your inbox?
Mhm. Yeah. Actually, you know what? Before we do that, my calendar just popped up. It is the first day of Pride Month tomorrow.
Oh, yay.
Yep.
Yeah, we got our special shirts to we got a Disney Pride shirt because we went to Disneyland for my birthday, and we're really, really excited about rainbow Mickey Mouses. Anyway,
Freaking awesome. That's totally cool. That makes me happy. Totally awesome.
all right. So how about we close our eyes and then
Let's talk
pick?
about the inbox.
So just pick one.
The problem is, I think there's still too many, and I think this is, I look at this morning's that turned up. I've got one for CNC machining. It's like, thanks. You did your homework and you did your research. Yes, as a company, we're going to need CNC machining. No two ways about it. But as the CISO for the organization, aside from just ensuring the integrity of the data that gets to and from those CNC machines, and in other words, making sure nobody's breaching the stupid things, I'm not really responsible for the machines themselves. So y'all could probably have saved yourself a little bit of electricity and a little bit of my bloody spam inbox, and maybe again done some research behind the scenes. Your non-cookie cutter engineering firm. Again, do I need to scare my engineering team for upcoming projects? I personally do not need to scare my engineering team because I don't actually run the engineering team. No, so probably I don't. Now, this one's great. Apparently, they can protect me. They can protect me from ransomware. And that makes me really happy. They have apparently got the ability to protect me. Now, not only can they protect me from ransomware, and this is where it gets interesting. This is where it gets interesting because they're actually quoting National Association of Manufacturers about industrial ransomware. So what I'm intrigued on with this one is they've gone from just the straight let's blame a user for clicking on things, or let's blame somebody. Let's do the horror stories of ransomware. And what they're now doing is they're talking about it from an industrial control staff. So to give these folks some credit, they've obviously taken a little bit of a look at what I do, where I am, and gone, oh, he's building things, therefore he must be on the industrial side, therefore we're going to just chuck an industrial statistic at him and try and scare him this way. But again, we get back to this. According to National Association of Manufacturers, manufacturing accounted for 65% of industrial ransomware incidents last year, which I would actually find an interesting statistic, because you think about the amount of healthcare stuff where industrial control systems take about, you think about the energy infrastructure where healthcare systems taken about, you talk about other areas that wouldn't be part of National Association of Manufacturers by default, and I would have gone after those ones. But apparently this IT managed service provider can understand and can basically stop ransomware for me, which is very nice. I'd love to know how they can actually stop ransomware, short of carpet bombing about 3/4 of the tech world. Power up your... Today must have been manufacturing day today, because another one has just come in. Apparently, manufacturing efficiency and safety. Ergotronics apparently is telling me how they can tailor solutions to meet my company's unique needs. Apparently manufacturing in healthcare, technology, or construction are ergonomic equipment. I didn't realize there was such a thing. I've learned something. I've learned apparently that I can now go buy ergonomic equipment. I don't know what I'm going to do with the ergonomic equipment, but apparently I can buy ergonomic equipment. This is, those are just 4 of today's ones where nobody paid attention. Nobody took that 10 seconds, 15, 30 seconds. They bought a list of people and a list of live email addresses, and they went after it. I think the one I actually want to focus on is this one. And it actually came in yesterday. And I think what frustrates me about it is a couple of things. One, it's a security company, and it's an integration partner. So, we're talking about the whole idea. I appreciate the word partnership in it and all this other stuff. But I think what frustrated the heck out of me is they didn't just send it to me. They didn't just send it to people in my team, or the teams I'm working with or anything like that. They went after a couple of people on the business side. So another Chris, ironically, inside Boom, is responsible for basically building out like the final assembly line, tooling, and all sorts of other stuff. So it's a pretty freaking responsible. Basically, Chris is responsible for building the aeroplane. They sent it to 2 other people as well inside the organization, fairly senior up on the food chain. And I think this is where it really annoys the hell out of me. And I actually respond to this from you, my dear vendor letter. I respond to this and also CC'd the others on this one as well. First and foremost, they're trying to be an arse, or they're trying to be, I don't think it's a spelling mistake. I'm actually going to look it up, because having shown, I was right. So I was covertous of sharing the solutions provided of a global leader to you. So if you look up covertous, it's having or showing a great desire to possess something belonging to someone else. So first and foremost, you're using a word which doesn't really work in the full sentence. So I get the idea. You want to basically take something from someone and show it to me. Don't be an ass about it. Don't try and use English language against somebody who actually is eloquent enough that I can actually write full sentences. Apparently their company has been the global leader in agnostic integrated security solutions.
Repeat again.
This is a new one. I actually want to make an acronym for this one. Agnostic integrated security solutions. EST's largest global VAR and some tremendous operational solutions. Wherever you are, this company is just around the corner with consistent excellence that is customized for you and your team.
Sometimes I have to put my ear into the mic to understand better. Which doesn't really work because it's coming from here.
I still have to reread these sentences because I actually haven't even looked them up. I gotta, and this is, I think, where it's no, because they're based in North Carolina. So apparently they're SDM's magazine's security integrator of the year for the 5th consecutive year. I'm wondering whether that's a pay to play thing, whether if I could actually be it for the 6th triple score bingo. Well done, Chris. Yeah. And I think it's a little frustrating for a couple of different ones. One's you're trying to sound smarter than you're just trying to sound smarter than you maybe need to. I won't say than you are because I don't know you and I don't want to be that arse. But it feels like you're trying to sound smarter than you need to. Secondly, I don't know what the hell agnostic integrated security should look. Nobody's truly agnostic. I think the only person that will come close to being truly agnostic was what Victoria and Khalidi were trying to do, because nobody's truly agnostic. I think everybody has a bias, whether you like it or not. I'll freely admit it. I don't like Clown Strike. I don't like Dark Trace. I don't like bloody any of those ones. I have no love I have no love. I have hatred for them. I just have no love for them. And there's a bunch of others I just have no love, and they won't see the light of day inside the company. Unless they're the only one left on the planet that can do what is necessary to be done. Whereas at the moment, they're not. They're one of about 20 or 30 others on the planet. So I think, yeah, I will be very honest, I have biases. Secondly, on this one, my frustration on anybody that says they're truly agnostic, and I'm tempted to actually call them on it and say, okay, great, come in and give me an endpoint solution. I've got a, 400 or 500 systems. Give me an endpoint solution. I want to see what they do, because I want to see if they go clam strike, clown strike. I don't want to. You can figure out who the hell it is, for crying out loud. There we go. Exactly, April. I think what frustrates me is, again, you see through this, and a lot of us see through this very, very quickly and very, very easily. Largest global VAR. I take exception to the fact that probably are not the largest global VAR. I know the largest global VARs, and this isn't one of them. I also know the largest global VAR isn't even in this bloody country. So having been over at B-sides over in the Middle East, yeah, I met some of the VARs that are operating out of China and India, and they make most of ours look really fucking small. So it's throwing around, we're the biggest, we're the best, we're going to try and outdo you with this. And that's in the first 3 sentences, for crying out loud. Then we get into our differentiators, total accountability and visibility on what we do. Well, I expect that from any VAR that I have. I expect, I look at Maria, I have total accountability. And I have in fact, I have more than absolute visibility. They're helping us gain more bloody visibility into systems I think both of us in some ways didn't have full understanding on some of the stuff. So that's the fun, so that's not a differentiator to me. Playbook agreements to performance and standards. No, those are called SLAs. They've been in place for about 20 or something odd years, 30 years maybe. Continuous workflows, program management and processes. If I don't have processes and I don't have program management in place, I've failed my job as a basic leadership person. So that's not a differentiator either. Over 16 million a year in technical training. I have no clue why that's a damn differentiator. I mean, is that for me to use? Is that their internal people? At which point I'd probably look at some other big guys and companies and go how much they have in training, let alone all the training you can get for free. I don't care how much money you spend on training. Here's what I do care. I would love to know how much time each one of the individuals you have is set aside for them, paid for their own training. We just started something at Boom. Erica, who is on the people team side of the world, she's actively encouraging a bunch of us at Boom to do Learning Fridays. So you take an hour on Friday and just say to hell with the world and go learn something. It doesn't have to be work related, just go learn something. And aside from that, we're also I'm focusing on getting the people out to do training courses on this kind of good stuff. The largest, most supported partner for many, if not most of the industry security platforms. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,000 security platforms out there. Y'all don't have access to every single one of them. Let's just leave it at that. And I know you don't, because nobody does. Digital transformation with video. Is that like in color? Is that like, hey, we have color? You remember the day? No, you don't remember the days of black and white. I hate you. You're only 35.
Though I did watch a lot in black and white. because
Yeah,
there are
watching it
some
and
good
having a
shows.
television you had to put the
Yes,
50
yes,
pence pieces in, yeah, it
yes.
is a big difference, all right? Apparently, they do digital transformation with video, situational awareness, and strategic planning. Now, the situational awareness and strategic planning, those are good things. But again, if I'm working with any of my VAR type partners, and again, Maria can attest to this, is we have those situational awareness and strategic planning sessions. They're there for a bloody good reason, because when shit goes down, this is not the first time you want to be practicing it. And so then I get two videos. So first and foremost, let's face it, an inbound email from somebody I don't know with two video links are not going to be clicked. No matter how much you try to tell me, no matter how much you try to sell me, no matter how much you try to show me and all this stuff, I ain't clicking your video link. I'm not clicking any bloody links from you. Let's just be honest. So let's just save the electrons and not do that.
Mm.
And then and then the closing one is, an email is not the forum for sharing how we could really partner with you and your teams. May I have the privilege of sharing with you how our global solutions, industry-leading partnerships, and expertise can magnify the value that you and your team has worked so hard to establish and more fully garner? No, just no. Just, I mean, that's 4 sentences to say one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Hope you find this useful. Give me a shout.
Right.
And I appreciate the eloquence. Do not get me wrong, but it's almost too much. It's that fake humbling thing that's going on. There's a lot of the. I think it's exactly, magnify the value. This sounds like a bloody penis extension thing going on. I can magnify your value with a little blue tablet. Just call me and click on this video. I mean, this is an enhancement email. This is what it is. I'm basically. It isn't pretty. Let's just be honest on this one.
I feel like this was a really complex prompt for ChatGPT and copied and pasted, or overuse of thesaurus.
Yeah, possibly. Actually, this would be an interesting one. I wonder if there's a way. A marketing created cut and paste. Yeah, this is where I think I get the frustration. Again, Jason says it seems unlikely it was a person-to-person email. And to your point, Danny, the chat, I would love to be able to run some of this through a bloody ChatGPT engine and see if it. Oh yeah, I was like, oh yeah, I wrote this last week.
Mm.
Because I mean, first and foremost, again, I'll reiterate something we already know. I'm not going to buy something off of a sodding email.
Yeah.
Let's just start with the email might prompt me into something going, oh yeah, maybe it is worth talking to them now or in the future or whenever it is. But this is not going to be the way to get me to buy stuff, nor click on a bloody link on a message or anything else, first and foremost. Secondly, it is a good morning. So, to Jason's point, this is definitely a good morning email as opposed to a hey Chris. Now, the hey Chris emails is just, hey, insert first name here, yada yada, all this kind of. We all see those when they get broken and they end up still getting sent to us, for crying out. Maria, I've only mentioned you twice or 3 times today so far, for crying out loud. Love it.
I almost feel like we should go through. Remember what I said? We talked about creating our kind of matrix based off of NIST.
Yeah.
I almost feel like we should kind of go through, define where this sits. Level 1 or level 0.
I mean, this is, I think the other ones that I think, so this is one, and here's the other ones that are starting to drive me nuts as well. And it's along the same lines. It's you okay? Don't bother for me. I need you.
Elegantly choking in the side.
Go do it. Get a cup of tea. It's good for you.
Yeah.
The other ones that are starting to drive me somewhat nutters as well, and they all seem to be following the same format, which is, hi Chris. So it's like, okay, personalized, congratulations. Very impressed by your body of work. I'm like, all right, you're trying to butter me up. And again, I think this is where the sarcasm filter, not sarcasm, the Oh, whatever that. Yeah, probably sarcasm filter cuts in, although too many years in this bloody industry cuts in. Hope this email finds you well as the leader of I admire your professionals like yours who are driving innovation and success in their respective fields. I really want to write back and go, what's my respective field? Again, rather than try to butter me up with generic things, if you're gonna butter me up, at least again, spend 30 seconds figuring out who the hell you're buttering up. At least pay attention and go, hey, I admire professionals like you who hang out, and you and Danny together are doing amazing things. Great. Now at least I know you spend 10 seconds at least understanding who the heck it is.
That ties into the history. Remember we talked about the inputs, subjective inputs, history. Do you
Yeah. Ruh-roh.
have an
Yeah.
understanding of the person's history, their state those? Did I freeze?
Yeah, you did for a second. I don't know if you froze or I froze or we are freezing. You're back again, so we'll see how
Oh.
it happens. And I think it drives into that second sentence as well. Is I'd be honored to connect and learn more about your journey, experiences, and insights. Motherfucker, if you just connect up to LinkedIn for 30 seconds, guess what? It's all on there. I don't hold back. As a fellow leader, I believe there may be opportunities for us to share knowledge, explore collaboration, or simply engage in meaningful conversations.
Mhm.
So I think this is where I get, at least tune into the LinkedIn Live. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Colin. I think it's, and again, there's a bunch of these that are coming out now. I've seen a bit of a change. I've seen it change from not just I can protect you and your company, all this stuff, like that previous one, like, hey, look at me, here I am swinging my 16 million worth of training dick in the breeze, and I can eloquently butter you up. But I'm now at the point where we're getting these direct buttering up kind of messages. I've seen a bunch of them coming in. For those of you that are ironically, we're on LinkedIn. For those of you that are getting the inbound messages, I had two pretty much exactly the same yesterday on LinkedIn. By the way, if LinkedIn's listening to this, y'all got to figure this shit out. Inbound email for franchising. I don't know if Danny, I'm not sure if you've seen these. I'm getting a bunch of these now. It's the, hello, you're wonderful. Your professional profile looks amazing. Your feet don't touch the ground, and you fart strawberry flavored buttercups or whatever, all of that kind of stuff. Plus, would you be interested in franchising? I'm getting these. I'm getting a bunch of, and this is basically a longer version of that. It's just a different way of buttering me up. And I don't like it. I don't know if anybody likes it. Quick poll for a quick poll for anybody. Does anybody feel like they need to be buttered up in the morning to be sold to? Or if
Mm-mm.
anybody's on here who's
Mm-mm.
doing the selling, do you actually really believe you need to butter people up to sell to them?
It feels super super inauthentic from people you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, there's an ulterior motive there.
Oh,
Like,
and
okay, yeah, you're just
that's
like, "All right, what's next? Come on, just lay it on me.
yes,
What do you
and
want?"
that's it. Get to the point. I think this is part of it as well. This comes up to it. It's the same thing with our previous chaps. Don and his $2.7 billion integrated partner for me. Get to the freaking point. Do it eloquently in a more civilized way, but I don't have, somebody hit me up last week or so. They hit me up with an inbound message. It was a request for information and nothing
Mm,
drastic. It was actually somebody I've talked to a few times in the past, but I haven't talked to in a while. And they shot me a note and they had a question for me. God, these glasses are offset. I keep looking like I'm looking like this. I'm wonky. They hit so I'm about to the other. Actually, I'm going to do no glasses for a while. It's easier. They hit me up with a question, and like literally not 24 hours later, like, hey, can you answer? And I'm like, motherfucker, I get 30, 40, 50, 60 inbound messages on LinkedIn on a daily basis. I get a bunch of emails coming into the main inbox. My iPad looks after 10 other of my email accounts as well. I get messages on them. I get messages on WhatsApp. I get messages on Signal. I get messages on text. I get phone calls. Y'all got to fit in the queue somewhere. And by the way, plus I also need to be able to do my job. and I also need to run life, etc., etc., etc. So I think it's one of those where it's, do not expect an answer after 10 minutes. That's why those other ones annoy the hell out of me. Those follow-up, hey, my message probably didn't hit the top of your inbox and is buried, and now I'm going to send you another one, and then 4 days later you get the next one. Hi, I'm sure you've missed my message. I'm like, yeah, no shit have I missed your message. Oh, I know what I wanted to talk about.
Squirrel.
We've spent 20 plus minutes ranting. All right.
Oh, that's the point of this conversation. So.
I know what I wanted to talk about. Let's talk about unsubscribe.
Or lack thereof.
Let's talk about, yeah, okay. I want to talk about unsubscribe, and I want to talk about unsubscribe for a couple of different reasons. I'm going to chew on EC cancel for a moment because, well, they're EC cancel and they're an easy target. Let's just be pretty honest on this one. So I got code red from EC cancel, offer a bonus alert, to which I think I got something last week, and I said, please unsubscribe me. And they even have a little unsubscribe down here, and then they tell you they've unsubscribed you. Then I got another one from them the other day, and it was like something completely different, but something very similar from EC Cancel. I said, unsubscribe me. And I asked them to unsubscribe me again. Now, on this one, they just said you've been unsubscribed. Now, what's interesting is I know on a couple of these ones, when you hit the word unsubscribe, they take you to another page where they've already subscribed you to like 6 or 7 or 4 or 5 different bloody newsletters and signups, and each one's got its own little unsubscribe. So what the hell ever happened with the word unsubscribe now is, well, I'll unsubscribe you from this one piece, but not from these other 10 different pieces. Mm-hmm. What the hell happened? And I'm interested from other people, because there's that whole philosophy of thou shalt never click unsubscribe because it means, oh my gosh, now it's a live email. I'm just going to send them more shit from a slightly different address, or I'm going to sell your email on to 10 others. I'm interested in what the audience thinks. Danny, I'm also interested in what you think as well on the whole unsubscribe thing. I'm really intrigued on this one.
Unfortunately, my experiences have shown me that the unsubscribe is just a lot of horse shit. I ask to be unsubscribed all the time.
Yeah.
Like there's no button, so unsubscribe in bold.
Yeah.
But nobody really does it. They send me an automated email because I replied. So in the automation trigger, it's a yes. And so they send me the next chain of crap that has no relevance to me. Or I don't see the button anymore. Sorry, I click on the unsubscribe button. I don't see the button anymore, though. That's the problem. And out of all of the unsubscribes that I've had, or like initiations on my part, only one person actually replied to apologize. Like out of the hundreds that I've unsubscribed from. And
was it even somebody in our industry, or was
it was someone they thought that I was a buyer from RSA. Look, I'm not about like, and I told your team at RSA, like, you can scan me, but please do not put me on the list, make a note. Which was naive on my part. And then
we got a live one. We gotta.
Yeah. And it's unfortunately that there's no, I mean, you mentioned this right at the beginning of the series. You said, why can't we just choose to opt in or not?
And that to me, I think that is one of those big things to me is, and I think a frustrating thing to me. I think Colin hits this one, which gets really interesting. It's many companies have got multiple systems that manage their email list, and unsubscribe is only one. Yeah. And I think and this is where it gets, I've seen a couple that appear to be a little bit more both sophisticated and scary, to Colin's point, where you hit unsubscribe and it takes you into this formula site. Do you want to unsubscribe from all of these things or some of these things, or tick which ones? Disney is probably both the most infamous and scary of those ones. Having done a number of the Disney things, I think I'm still, despite the fact I've told them numerous times, get me the hell off your damn systems, they keep sending me stuff. And apparently it's from a new system, not the old system. I'm just like, take fucking hint. And and then allied. So, and that's why I think where it gets really, really frustrating is because you try to be nice. You try to give people feedback. You try to say, "Hey, look, I just don't want to hear from you." You know, there's so much of this stuff. Don't make our. I
Well,
mean,
but listen, if you don't wanna hear from them and you say, "Please unsubscribe," like, just reply saying, "Hey, I totally apologize, and you're off." Like, acknowledge you're off the list. Like,
yeah,
I'd appreciate that, but nobody acknowledges it. They just continue you through the goddamn flow because it looks to the automation system like a confirmed reply.
exactly. And I think that again, back to this, the human's been taken out of a lot of this. To your point,
Yeah,
it's an automated response.
yeah.
Any response is a good. What it used to be, any news is good news. You know, any response apparently is good news. It shows it's a live email. This is where the scam stuff. And this is where I think, unfortunately, our world, unfortunately, really mimics the scam world in a really freaking bad way. You look at the scams. I mean, I preach to the teams that I have inside Boom because there are a bunch of really freaking smart folks in there who want to engage the scammers and have some fun with them and actually garner information. Then I typically get phone numbers and emails, and they're like, "Yeah, you can have some fun with this." I'm like, I'm okay with that to some degree, but I'm not because I don't want the scammer to know that that's a live email or a live address or a live person that they can potentially do more to. It's like, I don't want you to reply at all. Just kick it in the box and get rid of the damn thing.
Mhm.
Our industry is getting as bad.
Yeah.
I mean, our industry is, I mean, if I don't respond, will you just send me 4 messages and then ignore me? Will you send me once a year and I can go into the spam? Will you keep sending me these? At what point do you give up? You know, again, same thing. And Colin says, you know, Cartoon Mind Disney is a challenge on this one. It's like, at what point will you give up? And then it's the same with our industry. At what point do you give up trying to send me messages? I mean, I don't know. I don't know how to deal with this. And this is where that unsubscribe in the scam world, you never touch the unsubscribe button because it just again, it does show it's a live address and now I can sell it to 10 other people. Our world should not be mimicking the scam world,
Yeah.
but it is.
Yeah.
And that is not a good message, and it is not a good way that we are dealing with things, and that concerns the hell out of me.
How do you think we can fix it?
B-52s in a carpet bombing exercise, but um, I I know I used to know there wasn't isn't there like an anti-spam law or can spam law or something like that?
There are.
And spam, a
Yeah.
compliance guide for businesses. And this is something I wanted to bring up because I'm getting to the point where I'm almost going to do an automated response, or I wonder how you test this law because this goes back to the opt in, opt out thing. And Logan just hit it with an internal battle going on versus opt in versus opt out. And the CAN spam law applies to bulk email and any electronic message, primary purpose of which is the commercial advertisement or promotion of commercial products, which is every single fucking thing in my spam mailbox. Um, don't use false or misleading, don't use deceptive subject lines. I would argue we can protect you is a deceptive subject line. Tell recipients where you're located. I've got, there we go. Tell recipients how to opt out of receiving on or opt out request promptly. This I think is very, and I'm actually gonna, I can post it. I'll post it in the chat to you if you want to post it out to the audience.
Yeah.
I'm really interested on this one. If you want to, I don't think I can post to the audience, but I have no flipping clue. I'm letting you
Yeah.
post it.
I'll post it.
I'm intrigued on actually how to deal with this and whether yeah, there we go. Thank you, Danny. Um, I don't know. I wonder how we deal with this because I think there should be some way of enacting this and starting to send this. Either that or I just reply with a can spam out to every single one of these bloody spam emails.
Yeah.
This might be a LinkedIn post because my question, I think, possibly to the FTC is like, hey, y'all keep talking about this shit, but my inbox and my spam inbox keep getting filled up with this stuff. What are you actually doing about
Mhm.
it? When
Mhm.
I send a message to Disney, and I'm not picking on Disney, I have a lot of love for Disney, but I'm gonna pick on them because I keep getting bloody emails despite the fact I've told them to sod off. More honestly, because every single time I get one, it hurts.
Yeah.
because that was something Morgan and I used to do, and now that situation is a shit show. It actually, when I see those messages, it kind of puts another pointed, nasty ass reminder that it's a shit show.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm kind of really intrigued on the canned spam side of things as to whether we can actually. Yeah, that's the problem. If enough people mark an email as spam, the large providers will kill the account. I know, but then they come back with another one. That's the problem. I mean, how bloody hard is it for people to come back and chuck another message out?
Yeah.
That, I think, where it gets frustrating is to me, the only solution to us differentiating ourselves from actual scamming spam is to put some honor and integrity into it and hold everybody accountable. In other words,
What's that?
yeah.
Really?
I mean, that's it. Maybe I need to do a third. Actually, this might be a good point. Maybe I do a third Dear Vendor letter. And the third Dear Vendor letter talks about on honor and accountability, and goes to, I literally just talk about opt-in, opt-out, can spam rules, honor and integrity.
Then
I
we're going to
didn't
automate it for you,
help.
Chris.
I never asked for this. Honor my request to be removed and be aware of the can spam rule.
Yeah.
Maybe I do that. Maybe that's my homework for this week is to do Dear Vendor number 3.
I mean, it's frustrating that you have 2. Like, you'd
Yeah, I
assume
got
you
the
need
long
1.
one, the short one, and apparently now I have the can spam one.
Yeah.
But I think that's I and I'm intrigued on what everybody else thinks, because I mean, we have folks on here from that sales side, and I think this is where it gets interesting, is because if the inbound emails had more integrity, were actually ones I wanted, or even were ones where I'd even, to your point, you walk up to a vendor at a conference and you go, hey, I actually kind of want to have a conversation with you.
Hmm.
Or if they were ones where somebody had done their research. Let's just say somebody researched you and I online, listened to what we were talking about, heard that in 2024, we've got a factory coming online. So Chris is going to probably want to talk about this, this, and this, and sent me a simple message going, hey, I'm just going to send one message to you. I have your email because I researched a bit of honor and integrity in there. I promise I'm not adding you to a database, but I see what you're doing in 2024, and we're doing some similar shit. Would love to have a conversation if it makes sense, and leave it there. That will resonate so differently than 98% of everything else that I have in here.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think that's the, we talk about tearing down, which we've done. Now let's talk about the building up stuff. It isn't just an unsubscribe. Maybe there's a bit more integrity into it, which says, hey, look, I found your email, or hey, I've got it off of a list. I actually did some research. Maybe have a joke about the one rule or the whiskey and whatever, but also put in there, look, I'm not gonna spam you. I'm just gonna shoot this over to you. I kind of have a good idea about what you're up to. I kind of have a good idea about what you're doing. And if this is of interest, let me know. Otherwise, go in peace, and I'll see you at another conference.
Yep.
Done.
There you go. Laid it out for everyone here.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that hard to do. And then, by the way, don't follow up 2 weeks later by going, hey, I didn't get a response to the email. Because I'll hunt you down and I'll gut you and I'll skin you and I'll hang it out for everybody as a warning. Normal things.
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, we have time for one person if someone wants to come on. Otherwise, we will buy back time today because Chris and I are off to meetings.
Yeah, lots of meetings. Although I'm off today, so I'm actually going to jump on the 10 a.m. meeting with the crew, 10 a.m. Mountain Time meeting with the crew. For those of you that are in different parts of the world, I'm going to jump on that meeting, say hi to the crew, check in some stuff, a few things I haven't got answers for, and then I'm going to bugger off.
Yeah. As always, you could drop your comments or questions here, and we can always cover those on the next session next week. Let's see what else we have here. I'm just trying to see what else we have here. I just want to quickly comment, and this might be a discussion for a future episode as well, but Logan said they're still having internal battles going on, opt-in and opt-out. I mean, to me, that seems so like
fundamentally basic human rights.
Like, really, there's a battle going on. I mean, I won't.
Logan, bring me into the conversation. I am more than happy. Seriously, hit me up on LinkedIn, hit me up on email. Bring me into the conversation. I am happy to give you the insights of most of us from the leadership,
Yeah,
senior IT tech support. I think Danny probably would too, but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I just think that that's so
That should, I mean,
counterproductive.
it should, unfortunately, it shouldn't even be a damn debate.
Exactly. That's my point.
And so I guess this is where it gets interesting. A very, very quick final point on this one. One side's got to blink first. And I
mm,
think this is where it gets interesting. And the moment the CISOs are so many of us are so frustrated, so fed up, so annoyed, so just done with this shit that we've closed down completely. We just don't want to talk to anybody. It's like y'all can just fuck off. And unfortunately, it's really, really tough. I think and it's going to take both parties, but somebody's got to blink first. There almost needs to be an integrity coming from the vendor partner, marketing side of the world to go, hey, we will only do this, and this. And then the CISOs are going to have to go, hey, we'll hit the reset button. We'll give it a chance to see if it can be done right. Because I don't see most CISOs having the time of day to want to even deal with the stuff that even you and I are talking about, taking the time to go through the inbox, to go through the stuff, to try to tackle this.
yeah,
Most of them are just done. We're fucking done with this shit.
yeah,
And they're relying on their existing relationships, which is also a problem as well, because y'all keep buying ClownStrike instead of actually looking at the other bloody solutions that are out there, and most of which are a whole lot better.
mm,
Um, and I think that's where it's getting really frustrating, because then it's almost that trickle down effect. Everybody keeps buying bloody ClownStrike, so the other 20 vendors, of which maybe 5 of them are actually better, don't have an opportunity to say, hey, we are better and here's why, because their voice is drowned out by everybody else in the damn field who doesn't have integrity, should we say, so they can't get the message across. It's really tough. It's not an easy world, don't get me wrong, but there is a better way to deal with it.
yeah. 100%. Beautiful, Chris. Let's buy back time. This has been an awesome,
Yeah, it's
awesome
been a fun
episode.
conversation. Thank
We
you.
we touched on this again early on in the season. I'm glad we brought it up again.
Yeah, let's talk. To that point, let's talk about opt in, opt out. I like
Yeah,
that, because I think that would be a good one. I think we'll do opt in, opt out, and actually how to tackle it more efficiently.
yeah,
Logan wants to join. Have at it. I mean, total good conversation. I don't want to put them at risk for any backlash inside the organization, so it's an open conversation. Let's just put it that way.
yeah. I'm sure it's going to help lots of folks because I know that he's not the only one going through that internal battle.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
let's have the conversation. And I think it's because there's a whole level of integrity and all sorts of other good things to have around that one, definitely.
yeah.
And again, it also means the CISO has got to step up and go, hey,
Oh
we'll
yeah.
do our part. So,
Hmm. Excellent. Well, thank you everybody as always. We love all of you.
mhm.
Feel
Thank you,
free to
Danny, for setting this up.
come on next week.
Yeah, thank you as always, everybody, for hanging out, everybody coming on. Danny, thank you as always for setting this whole flipping thing up and coordinating
Yeah,
the heck out
my
of this. I
pleasure.
just gratefully appreciate it. Please give the significant others and Rugrats a hug, and everybody.
I will. I will. Have a great day, everybody. Keep on the lookout for the next event. We'll be posting on LinkedIn. And we might be coming up with some new ideas for the show, as mentioned last week. We'll can't even talk today. We will be bringing on people to pitch on the pod. We'll break down the pitch and my gosh, Danny, go to bed. Seriously, Danny, go to bed. Pitch on the pod, break it down, build it back up. Having some sponsorship opportunities, some folks get some brand visibility and deep work with Chris and I. So be on the lookout for that as well. Enjoy your days, everybody. Get some rest. Be healthy, everybody, and be happy.
Yeah, take care, everybody. Stay safe.